Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So Texas resident Joshua Johnson intended to break into the Capitol even before he reached the building. Following his arrest, he told the FBI he planned to, quote, bust in there and be heard. And Johnson said that he believed Congress would, quote, be in the room so he and others could go in and demand that they, quote, do the right thing. So on January 6th, Johnson entered the restricted area of the Capitol grounds, and he was recording as he's approaching officers. You hear him, he's yelling at them. And after he witnessed police and the mob spraying each other with chemicals, he was seen on surveillance video illegally entering the Capitol. He was then seen walking down hallways towards the Senate chamber. He was checking door handles, like wiggling them. As he was walking down, he briefly entered different rooms, various offices. And Johnson later admitted to seeing overturned desks. He saw papers all over the floor. So he knew this wasn't some peaceful protest and no big deal and that they were allowed. Also, all of these people, as they're filming, you hear alarms blaring in their own videos. So they knew this was not a casual day at the Capitol. Eventually, Johnson reached the Senate. He entered the upper gallery area first, and then after he realized that members of Congress were gone, he stepped out of the gallery. He started helping other people who were searching for keys in a desk. They wanted to get down to the Senate chamber. They wanted to get to the lower level. Ultimately, other members of the mob jumped from the gallery balcony. They jumped down off the balcony, and then they went and opened the doors for the rest of the mob. So that's when Johnson and the others entered the Senate floor. So Johnson was then seen in videos rifling through Senator Dianne Feinstein's desk. He was recording videos of the documents that she left behind. He went over to another senator's desk. He picked up that senator's water bottle and he drank from it, which is just nasty. Johnson was also then seen removing his shoes, and he took off overalls that he was wearing. He was not naked underneath, so you don't have to worry, but he was, he had on jeans and a shirt. And then after he gathered all of his belongings, he put his shoes back on, and then he went over and he was looking at more documents on senators' desks. And he admitted that he only left the Senate chamber because a group of officers started to assemble, and another member of the mob warned, hey, they're going to start arresting us if we don't get out of here. So Johnson exited the building. After that, he was seen on photos walking out. He was shouting. He was raising his fists in the air as if he had accomplished something worthwhile. And the following day, Johnson texted someone and he said in part, quote, "It was awesome." So Johnson was arrested on March 23rd of 2022, and he was indicted on charges of obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, entering the floor of Congress, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. In March of 2023, Johnson pleaded guilty to the felony charge of obstructing an official proceeding. So he was looking at up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor requested only 2 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. A very pathetic request, considering that in 2022, Johnson was convicted of 2 separate counts of aggravated robbery, and he was sentenced to only 5 years of probation for each of those crimes. And this is in Texas. So I don't want to hear about liberal states letting criminals off with a slap on the wrist. In one of these 2 incidents, Johnson went into a vape shop. He was wearing a hoodie and a ski mask, and he robbed not just the store, but the employees as well. He took all of their wallets and their cell phones, and then he cleaned out the register. So both of these robberies took place in 2019 before the Capitol attack, but he wasn't arrested until November of 2021. And he was also convicted of first-degree trespass, domestic violence in September of 2021. He apparently forced his way into his parents' home and he tried to punch his father in the face. So that all went down 6 months after the Capitol attack. That occurred in July of 2021. Evidently, he was pissed off because his mother refused to buy a gun for him. So he went to their home, tried to force his way in, and he was asking, where is it? Where is it? He was trying to find his mother's gun. For that crime, he was sentenced to only 1 year in jail. And he has previous domestic violence convictions against women. In 2012 and in 2017, Johnson was convicted of assaulting his wife and causing bodily injury. The sentencing memo says that in the 2012 incident, Johnson refused to let his girlfriend, I'm assuming she became his wife, but she was his girlfriend at the time, refused to let her use the bathroom alone. And he became enraged and attacked her with a hot hair straightening iron. Then he choked her until she couldn't breathe. She finally managed to get into the bathroom, and it says she was hiding in there with her 7-month-old daughter. Then she asked him if she could leave, and he said no. And then he threw her on the bed and started choking her again with both hands. And then they said he violently headbutted her. In 2010, Johnson was arrested again for assaulting a family member. But the government said they aren't aware of the disposition of that case. They have no idea what happened with it. He's also been convicted for failure to identify as a fugitive and giving false information. That was in 2018. Apparently, he knew he had a warrant out for his arrest, so he gave an officer a fake name and date of birth. He also violated the terms of his release in this January 6th case repeatedly. He just repeatedly tested positive for using weed, and they ordered him to participate in a drug treatment program, and he just hasn't done it. And like his idol, Donald Trump, he's not going to be winning any Father of the Year awards anytime soon. According to the sentencing memo, he has 3 children from 2 different women, and none of the 3 children live with him. And he's $37,000 behind in child support payments. U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper presided over Johnson's case. I couldn't locate any details about what may have been said at the sentencing hearing, but Judge Cooper sentenced Johnson to 2 years in prison, 2 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. I'm actually shocked that Judge Cooper gave him the full 2 years as requested. He is typically a very weak judge. In this case, it appears that the prosecutor is either weak or they're a January 6th sympathizer. You know, with this guy's history, with his criminal, violent behavior, he absolutely deserved more time behind bars. Right after the Capitol attack, he's out committing more crimes. He's out trying to punch his own father and get a hold of a gun. And they can't muster more than 2 years. Really? So, yeah. You know, as I always say, another convict for Trump. He really attracts a certain type. All right, guys, I will let you know when and if I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. It really, really helps. Truly love you guys. Appreciate all the help you've given. I could not have gotten to this point without all of you. Do not think I take it for granted. It's because of all of you. So I love you all. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.